Guys, real quick, if you are watching this video right now, that means that our Black Friday through Cyber Monday deal is now live over on fademe.store. It's up to 50% off site-wide. We've never done discounts this big. You can pick up the Football Couch Club hat, the structured snapback. I know we'll all be doing that on Thanksgiving. You can pick it up for, like $13 over there right now. Go ahead and pick yourself up a captain's jersey. A ton of cool products on the merch store. Again, it is fademe.store. You can also go to GuyBostonSports.com/store. It'll take you to the exact same place. Go capitalize. Again, we have never done discounts this deep. Thank you in advance, guys. I have loved putting together some of these pieces that we have available, and who knows, maybe some of this stuff will sell out. So check it out right now, fademe.store or GuyBostonSports.com/store. It runs from Wednesday, the 26th, all the way through till that next Tuesday, December 2nd. So you have a decent amount of days to do it, but I would not wait. Head over to fademe.store. Now let's get back to the video. All right, guys, welcome into H2H. We got week number 13 in the NFL. Tasos, maybe more importantly, we got Thanksgiving week here in the NFL. If you guys don't know, this is the NFL Pick Show in which Tasos and I battle it out each and every week. And man, oh man, has this season been a battle. It is now 6-6 in terms of the win-loss category for each of us on the season. Tasos, I'm coming off of a nice little win yesterday. You gave me yet another fade me win, but how you feeling off of, what is that, 2 straight losses, 2 weeks in a row now? Week 11, week 12. How you feeling now that things are knotted back up at 6?
Tough, especially because the last couple of weeks have been like these narrow, like down to the wire losses. Very brutal. I don't know how Bryce Young didn't throw 2 touchdown passes in that game when Brock Purdy throws 3 interceptions and a half. How you only scored 1 touchdown the entire game. I don't know how, but you know what? We joked about it last week. I took a lot of bad quarterbacks last week. Probably should have been a little bit smarter about that. But hey, you know what? It's been an exciting year. I wouldn't expect anything less from this season. It's just been back. I won 2 in a row. Now you've won 2 in a row. It's just been that kind of a year for us. So it's good for the show, I guess. You know, not good for me, but
it is good for the show. I love that it like is leading up to like now it's 6-6. It's tied, and we got Thanksgiving week too. You know what I mean? And you know, there's obviously just something special about Thanksgiving and football, you know what I mean? Like even they go hand in hand. So the fact that we have a ton of content coming on the channel this week, a lot of exciting stuff from Guy Boston Sports, 2 a knotted up H2H season heading into what feels like a really, really fun week. It just seems pretty damn cool. So speaking of Thanksgiving, you want to talk? I know we were talking before we started recording. We were just kind of going over some like traditions and whatnot. And we were like, all right, we should ask people watching and get them to comment. I think it was like, what are their traditions for Thanksgiving in terms of things they do? You threw a couple ones out there. You want to get the ball rolling there? What are some traditions that you know of? And or
guys, I want to hear from the people down below in the comment section. What are your big traditions on Thanksgiving? Now, I talked about it with Ev a little bit beforehand. To some people, this question might sound a bit strange. They're gonna say, "Well, duh, we're gonna watch football and eat food all day. Like, what else would we do?" But like, I'm someone who personally like we do like a turkey bowl every year. So me and my buddies, we play football in the morning of Thanksgiving. We've been doing that every year for the last like 5-6 years. People play soccer game. I have some close family friends. They host it's been going for like 30 years. They host a Thanksgiving morning soccer game. They have like the turkey trots. Everyone has different traditions, even when it comes to what you cook, where you do it, how you watch it, all kinds of different traditions. So I want to hear down below in the comments any cool or any traditions at all that you guys at home have for Thanksgiving. How do you spend the holiday with your family? Ev, I'll start off with you. How do you like to spend your Thanksgiving? I know you're going away I would expect nothing less from you, but to go on a trip,
traveling vacation. In terms of tradition, I don't really have much tradition. I will say, speaking of wearing the beers and bets hat, it is just one of those green lights. It doesn't matter if it's early or not to be able to crack a beer or have a drink early. Not to sound weird, but that might be my Thanksgiving thing: food, drinking, and watching football. Like, I'm kind of lazy on Thanksgiving, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I don't have the, I probably did. I think I played, football and played actually basketball recently with a bunch of buddies, probably up until like 4 years ago or something. But now it's just kind of like a lazy day. And like, I'm definitely not doing the turkey trot or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like that is past me. I'm not running. It's kind of a lazy day for me, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, I look forward to it so much. You know what I mean?
Well, especially like us, like my dad, like us, we have the pizza shop. Obviously, we work, every single day. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of hours. So Thanksgiving's always been a holiday where it's like I'll do my own thing. Like my dad, it's very much a pajamas all day,
Yeah.
food, football, beer. For me, it's changed a little bit. I'm sure you've had this too. Like as you get older, you get like relationships. Like my girlfriend's family lives like an hour. Her extended family lives like an hour and a half away. So it's like now we're at the point where when I was, home as a kid, it was just you stay in one house the entire day.
Right.
You literally never leave the couch. Now it's like, all right, now I got to drive to my parents' house, and I got to drive to my girlfriend's family's house, and it's like back and forth is not as fun as it used to
No,
be
I agree.
when you stay in the same location the whole day. But you spend time with family, you eat good food, you drink a lot, you watch a lot of football, drink responsibly, I should say a lot. But it's Christmas is always number one for me, but Thanksgiving is just the perfect it's an American holiday. Like we're just gonna sit down and indulge on the things we love: food, beer, and football. It's the
Yeah.
best. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it really is.
comment down below what you guys do for Thanksgiving. Is anything special? Any kind of different traditions out there? I know some people do some weird different things. Let us know down below what you guys do to celebrate Thanksgiving, and most importantly, have a happy Thanksgiving with your loved ones. And thank you for your support all year long. Obviously, Thanksgiving, the meaning of it, I think it's lost in translation a little bit now with the football and the beer and the food.
Yeah, true.
Is to
We
be
buried the
thankful.
lead.
Yeah, is to be thankful for everything. And I know Ev, everyone here, we're all very thankful for you guys for supporting us, watching us all year long, and just kind of riding with us for years now. I mean, we're very close to 150K. I still think we can do it before Christmas, before New Year's. We're getting close. I think we're going to hit 148K this week. So I'm thankful for you guys. Thank you for continuing. This time last year, we were encroaching upon 100K. So we've gotten 50,000 subscribers in the last 12 months, which is pretty cool to
Crazy.
say.
Yeah,
So
thank
you to you guys.
Yeah, I think that you just, you can echo that for everyone here, whether it's me, Bryce, obviously Trey as well. Like we all recognize, and I say it in my videos all the time, it does take two to tango. You know what I mean? We got the mics, we got the cameras, but like there's humans on the other end consuming this, interacting and building this community with us. So truly, thank you guys so much. Not to just gloss over Tasos, but are you ready to dive into, what the people may or may not have come here for?
Let's do it. Let's dive in. I'm ready. Thanksgiving special. Ready to kick your ass.
All right, guys. Yeah, all of a sudden now the gloves are off, and it's like, all right, we were nice for like 5 minutes in the beginning. Guys, if you don't know how this show works, it's a little bit different. We have a wheel, which you'll see on your screen now, spin, and it dictates a lot of what we do here. So this first wheel is going to dictate the draft order. So whoever this lands on ends up going first. You'll see a second wheel pop up shortly that, dives into which categories we partake in. So yes, Tasos and I do make our own selections. Unfortunately, we don't get to pick every single round what we are betting into. So Tasos, let's go ahead and spin it. I'd love to get it first, just feels like it would
really?
set the Thanksgiving week off really, really well. And I think, keep going now.
You know what I'm thankful for? I'm thankful that I'm starting us off here.
You are starting this off. I'm thankful that you're thankful. So we're good. I'll spin that right back on you. Okay. So that is the draft order. Tasos is going to be going first. Let me pull up the second wheel now so you guys can see it. And Tasos, there's a couple additions to the wheel here I had told you about. And now we'll tell the people about it. So everything is pretty much uniform to what it normally is week in and week out. But now we've added 3 new slices to the wheel: Turkey Day prop, Turkey Day spread, and Turkey Day total. So definitely a chance to have, some Thanksgiving action here on H to H. I am going to shuffle this 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and we're off and running. You get ready to spin, or do you want to tell me what you like, what you don't like? You want to show me your hand, your cards? What do we got here?
Nope. I'm thankful that I learned that lesson a few weeks ago. Let's go ahead and spin that wheel.
Drafter's choice being the slice does change things a little bit, because before it didn't matter. You know what I mean? It didn't matter what category I knew you liked or anything like that. But yeah, you're right. Let's go ahead and spin it.
All right, let's see what we're going to get here. Let's see.
Wow, that's going to be
underdog money line.
Interesting one to start with here. Underdog money line. So, self-explanatory. If you guys are not aware, that means we have to take an underdog on the money line. And by the way, just a quick, in case anyone's new here, anything like that, we go round by round. Each and every pick is worth 1 unit. Whoever comes out on top units wise wins that week. That is why we're 6-6 right now. Stick around to the fade me round at the end for a little bit more explanation. It's something that's really, really unique. Tasos, your time is now.
This is a tough. Okay, you know how I said I wasn't going to show my hand. This is the category that I really didn't want, because There aren't too many underdog money line
it's
spots.
tough.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and rock with a team that. Oh, do I really want to do that one?
This is a tough category this week. This really is. Luckily, I have two of them, so not to put the pressure on you, but even if you take one of mine, I know exactly where I'm going, and I feel good about it.
Shoot. And the worst part is money line. If it was underdog spread, I'd be like, all right, no problem. Money line. Right. Now it's like,
Yep. I would say, arguably, maybe not arguably, one of the hardest slices that we had on the board here. This was one of my thinnest categories in terms of what I have like pre-noted.
Yeah, me too. All right, we're gonna go this route, and I don't feel very good about it. Oh God.
Rip the Band-Aid off, baby.
I'm sweating here. I got like 4 things I'm looking at. I'm like, I don't like any of these. Oh, all right. I gotta make a pick here eventually. So,
it is a pick show.
Yeah, I know. God, this is. I wish I didn't go first now. I can't stall much longer, can I? Let's go New York Jets money line. Let's go New York Jets money line. It's just trying to find the most 50-50 game and rock it with it. Atlanta did win last week. Give credit to them. They did win a game. I forget who they played last week. I think it was
they played the Saints or something. Yeah.
They whooped them too, 24-10. Kirk Cousins did look pretty good. The Jets are a train wreck. Obviously, they traded away all the good pieces they did have. Though I did pick them spread last week versus the Ravens. They did cover the spread, so they still lost by 13 points. Again, I really don't have much to back this up, except the Falcons are such a streaky team. You know, they've lost a lot of bad games this year. They're without a lot of key pieces. Kirk Cousins, yes, he looked good versus the Saints, but he hasn't looked overall good, in the last year or two. The Jets still have Tyrod Taylor starting quarterback, which I do think is an upgrade over Justin Fields. They have Breece Hall. I think Garrett Wilson will hopefully be back here, which obviously would be a bit of a huge spot. I'm going to look that up right now. I wish I could give more for you guys. I wish I had more to share, but it is a really tough spot. I mean, there were some, like, obviously some toss-up big games, but this is the only one where it's like, oh no, Garrett Wilson is out. Okay, he will play again this year, though.
Let me help you out here too, because this was one of my one of the ones that I was looking at. It really comes down to two different things. One, Drake London may miss again, and I think this is when he doesn't, like, I can't say enough how good he is. When he doesn't play, their offense looks a lot different. Now, obviously, they played the Saints last week without him. They won. But there's a big sort of void in this Atlanta rush defense and how this Jets team actually can run the ball, at least against bad run defenses. And, Breece Hall should be in for a really good game. And if you can establish when you're at home, obviously a plus money spot here now for you, when you're at home and you can run the ball, I think good things can happen. And even specifically using our dashboard, you could see that the Jets run the man scheme in terms of rushing scheme at a top 10 clip. Atlanta's bottom 5 in the league, or bottom 6 in the league, whatever it is, at stopping that. So I don't mind the spot. Again, it was on my list of 2. Like, this was one of them. I'm not exactly sure if I would have picked it over the other one that I'm about to mention, my spot. But yeah, I don't mind you going Jets here. This is a very, very tough week unless you're trying to take a really big shot at like one of these plus 300 underdogs or something. Really tough week to find an underdog money line. So yeah, I think I sign off on the Jets one. I don't hate it, especially given the fact that it's a tough category.
Yeah, like I said, it was that whole time when I was stalling, just trying to find the game where it's like, all right, this is such a 50-50. And I think this game, that perfectly describes this game. Atlanta, their best is just not consistent. Even when they do show up, the next week, all year long, they've kind of, fallen completely off that track. And, defensively, they've been a bit of a mess. Offensively, when they have looked good, is it a matter of, are they actually good, or is it the defense they played? Do I trust Kirk Cousins, especially if Drake London's out? I really don't. And I do think, like I said, the Jets offense, even without Garrett Wilson, with Breece Hall, with Tyrod Taylor, I do think against this weak Falcons defense, the Jets can do just enough to maybe pull off the upset. The biggest thing that concerns me here is the tank factor. Now, I know Aaron Glenn, I know the players on the field don't really care about that, but ownership clearly does. Management clearly does. They don't want to win this game. I don't know how much that comes into play here. Obviously, a win here would hurt the tank. I don't know. But this is these are two bad teams, and when you have two bad teams, you give me plus money here. I'll take my chances on a Jets team that still has some playmakers that can hopefully make a difference. Again, Atlanta is definitely the better team, but not by a country mile. So it was a tough category for sure, but I think Jets, there is some value in that play.
I am going to be looking at one that is, and you got plus 130 for that, just for anyone
Yep.
watching. I'm going to be looking at the other spot. It's plus, what do we have for this one? Plus 150 over on Novig, and it's going to be the Cardinals against the Bucks. This is a really, really tough one, but I do think the way the Cardinals have been playing, which is like just only passing the ball, Jacoby Brissett is a good quarterback. I mean, he doesn't have the best team around him and whatnot, but this is a Bucks team that, yeah, their past defense has kind of started to fall to the wayside just a little bit, and throw in the fact that they're really, really banged up, right? Even Baker may not play in this game. I don't know if the world saw Teddy Bridgewater try and play quarterback, but that dude looked like he hadn't been taking practice reps. Like, I don't know what he was doing when he came in. He looked awful. But yeah, I don't know if they're going to play Baker Mayfield. He's got an AC sprain in it's non-throwing shoulder, but like that's a tough one, right? Any sort of shoulder injury for a football player, never mind a quarterback. And, Bucky Irving most likely not playing again. If it will actually, now they're saying that he will, but they've gone back and forth on whether or not
Yeah.
Bucky Irving is playing. And they have some, offensive line guys banged up as well. It's just a really hurt team overall. And I do think that, even if this is high scoring or anything like that, Jacoby Brissett is good enough to move the ball to some degree on this spot. Again, I'm not trying to sit here and be like the Cardinals should be favored or anything like that, but kind of with the same mindset you had of trying to pick a spot where there is a chance, in a sense, to be able to do that. And, not for nothing, this is a Tampa Bay team that blitzes a ton. Jacoby Brissett's actually filthy against the blitz. Yards per attempt goes up. His completion percentage is over 70%. Hasn't thrown a pick yet against the blitz. So, maybe he can pick it up and find some soft spots when they blitz. Now, he's not great against pressure, and I wouldn't sit here and tell you the Cardinals are the best at stopping it. But against the blitz, he may be veteran status enough to be able to handle that.
Yeah, this is the other one I was looking at here. Again, it's a 50-50 game, kind of a toss-up. The one reason why I opted not to go with this one and went with the Jets one is because of the Baker effect. Now, if Baker does play, even banged up, the Bucks do need this game pretty badly.
Yeah.
They've been on a really bad run lately, and I know Carolina, excuse me, coming off that Monday night game, not really inspiring a lot of faith. But the reality is this: they're 6-6, nipping at the heels, and because of the state of the NFC right now, I don't think the Bucks can afford to be a wild card team, especially because they've already kind of racked up a healthy amount of losses here. They kind of need to win that NFC South to have a clear-cut shot at the playoffs. Not saying they can't make as a wild card team, but there's a lot of good teams in the NFC right now. So I think there's a lot of pressure here. A loss to the Cardinals, put them down to 6-6, would make life a lot more difficult for Tampa Bay, especially with Carolina kind of nipping at the heels there. Yep. But again, it's the Baker effect. If Baker was 100% out, I think I would have taken this one over the Jets pick. But because there's a chance Baker could play, as long as Baker Mayfield's on the field, I like Tampa just a little bit more in this game.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. But again, I'm kind of hoping even if he does play that injury is enough. And like when you think about it, like a quarterback, and he's a righty, so his left AC joint is the one that he's injured. That's facing the defense when he's throwing.
Yeah.
If a guy's in his face, or if this Arizona team gets to him, like we could see Baker make some mistakes because he's got the yips or something right before he throws. So who knows? Obviously, it's a tough category, underdog money line. You ready to move past and jump in round two?
Yeah, the only other point I'll kind of go against you here on this one is the fact that, yes, I agree with you. The Bucks defense is pretty bad, especially against the pass, but the Cardinals wide receiver room kind of weak. Marvin Harrison Jr. has been banged up. So that's another factor kind of going against them. Yes, they throw the ball a lot, but who are they throwing it to? Outside of Trey McBride, there's no one else on this Cardinals offense that really impresses me. So that's the only thing I'll add. But overall, like I said, I can't hate on it too much because it is kind of a coin flip kind of game.
Yep, I think that's fair. All right, let's go ahead and spin it. I'm going to be starting off this one. Not for nothing, I'd like some of these Turkey Day props here.
Yeah, me
some
too.
Thanksgiving action involved. Are we going to get?
We're going to get player prop. We're going to get a player prop, but not a turkey prop, unfortunately. But you could make it a turkey prop if you, if you so desire.
I'm almost thinking about doing exactly that. Now the problem is, what if next round we get Turkey Day prop and I wasted one of my bullets from that on this? You know what? I'm not going to do it.
Can't be gunshot on this show, Ev.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to. I have another player prop that I do like, so I think I'm going to stick to that one.
Right.
It's going to be in the Buffalo and Pittsburgh game, and Josh Allen over 1.5 passing touchdowns, minus 125. This Bucs team kind of got pantsed by the Texans, right? And in that primetime game, obviously the Texans are really, really good defense, and I get it, but realistically, Josh Allen 0 passing attempts there, passing touchdowns against that squad. The Steelers' pass defense is not like their run defense is coming around. And I've been saying for like weeks that this defense is going to get better and is going to get better. They really haven't been, you know what I mean? Like this is a bad passing defense as of right now, which is crazy because you think of them and you're like, oh, they're going to pressure the quarterback and blah, blah, blah. Not really. They're literally a bottom 3 team in terms of pressure right now. They're allowing the second most passing yards per game. In terms of the red zone, they're fairly good, but this is the Bills team who, before that Texans game, was one of the best red zone teams almost in the league. I like Josh to pass for 2, and it's minus 125 right now in a big bounce back spot for them. Aaron Rodgers may or may not play. If Aaron Rodgers plays, I kind of like that even more because it seems like it might be like 2 great quarterbacks dueling it out. You know what I mean? Maybe gives Josh a little bit more fire under his you know what. But yeah, Josh Allen over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I think it's a good spot for him.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit it pretty well. The Steelers defense, like every week, and I've talked about this a lot lately, where it's like that's why I had the Bears and the Oracle this week, even though it was kind of a close game. Their defense, like we keep waiting for the Steelers defense to show up. We're waiting for that stellar, typical, grueling Steelers defense to come in, and they just haven't. Now they still have a decent pass rush, and of course, as long as you have TJ Watt, that's going to be there. But the secondary's been pretty weak. They just don't have the Steelers defense of years before. And, the Bills, they're not really in the clear right now. Like, this is a team that needs to win, and they kind of need to prove themselves a little bit. And I do think this is a matchup against a team they need to win this game very, very much because right now, Pittsburgh and Buffalo are both wild card teams in the current projection. So having, A, the win to give you a little more separation from the Steelers, but B, to have that tiebreaker is massive because if you lose this game, you're 7-5, Steelers are 7-5, and they have that tiebreaker, which could – maybe even knock Buffalo out of the playoffs potentially because the AFC playoff field is pretty tight right now. So, and I think in this spot, the running game for the Bills, when it's on, it's on. But the Steelers' run defense is definitely a stronger part of the unit in comparison to the pass defense. So I do think if Buffalo's going to win this game, they have to rely on Josh Allen's arm. They're going to have to throw the football a little bit. So in this spot, I agree with you. Over 1.5 touchdown passes, not really a bad play at all. Again, the Steelers' defense, I know, without even looking at the numbers, are getting up a lot of touchdown passes to opposing quarterbacks. So very good spot. I really like this pick.
Nice. All right. Well, there we go. I was able to keep we'll see if we get Turkey Day prop, but I got a fun one for that as well. So I didn't have to use that bullet. And one last thing, and they are 21st in the league in terms of passing touchdowns against. Caleb Williams just threw for 3 on them as well. So
yeah,
there's that. But go ahead. What do you got for a player prop this week?
Ev, I did this one just for you for Thanksgiving because I figured you like this one. I'm going Cam Ward over 219.5 passing plus rushing yard combo. I am grabbing that for minus 115 over on BetMGM, best odds available to me. Now, in the past, Ev, you like to go with the passing yard side of things. The thing is, though, I like to mix the rushing yards. When you do mix the rushing yards into the equation, all of a sudden, my hate on Cam Ward kind of goes away because the numbers are pretty good here. 7 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 220.4 passing plus rushing yards per game. So far in 2025, a 64% hit rate, 7 of 11 games. It doesn't make that much of a difference if we're being honest. A lot of these games, the passing yards are what pushes them over. But the last couple of weeks, for example, 37 rushing yards versus the Seahawks. He had 33 rushing yards versus the Texans. Last couple of games, maybe it's because of frustration. Maybe it's the game plan. You see he's becoming more eager to run. He's like, you know what? This team's not doing it for me. I'm throwing passes to no-name guys. Let me go ahead and do it myself and run around. And it has worked pretty well. So, from a passing yards perspective, I think he can get obviously most of the yardage there. But those rushing yards could be the difference between a cash or a miss here. Considering the matchup, I don't really buy this Jacksonville defense. They also lose Travis Hunter now for the year. And although he wasn't really that big of a defensive threat this year, at least, he's still a piece. And I don't really love this defense. 25th in passing yards allowed per game. Now, they have the best run defense in the NFL, which is something. But this obviously is their overall. This isn't versus quarterbacks. That's just versus opposing teams overall. Now, the big thing that caught my eye, and I think you'll probably agree with me here, the last 4 games, these are the quarterbacks that have gone over. Jacoby Brissett last week had 337 passing plus rushing yards. Davis Mills had 312 passing plus rushing yards. And Geno Smith had 293 passing plus rushing yards. Let me go ahead and repeat that for a second. The quarterbacks I named, Jacoby Brissett, Davis Mills, and Geno Smith. If those 3 can cash them with almost 300-yard games, and 2 of them they went over 300 yards. All we need is 220 from Cam Ward.
Mm-hmm.
And they cashed it. Now, easier said than done, and I'm someone who obviously has hated on him this year a little bit in this show, right? So this is kind of a hard thing even for him, but considering the matchup, considering the fact that he has been playing pretty well, if you kind of narrow it down, 6 of the last 7 games he's cashed us over. So he has been playing better of late. Kind of since they fired the head coach, honestly, he's kind of picked up a little bit. I like the spot here for Cam Ward. Again, the matchup kind of is the key thing here. But we've seen some pretty bad quarterbacks have monster games against this Jags defense. I don't see why Cam Ward can't do it either.
Yeah, I to be transparent, so I've already recorded my Sunday slate video because I'm traveling this week. Had to get out ahead of time. One of the things, and you'll be able to watch it. I literally say, well, first and foremost, I like Cam Ward from a passing yards perspective. I don't really have a problem with you tossing in the rushing yards or anything like that. So it is what it is, right? But over 199, I mentioned the exact same thing. I said Jacoby Brissett, Davis Mills, Geno Smith. These are not the creme de la creme of the quarterbacks in the league, right? And they're going off. I don't know if it's going to matter that you're throwing the rushing yards in there. The only thing that I will say, and I'm looking at the odds and the lines right now, it's really weird. So over 199.5 for his passing yards is minus 114. That makes sense. His pass plus rush is minus 115 at 219.5. But his rushing yards is 115 at just 10.5. It's like there's 10 missing yards there, which is a little weird. But again, I really don't mind it. He's had, plenty of good rushing. I mean, most notably the last 2 games, really good. And this Jacksonville team can get some pressure. So I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of push him out of the pocket and make him take off. I will say I'm a little bit more comfortable of the 199.5, like, especially given the fact that his rushing yards line is at 10. If the odds makers are putting him at, a minus 115 to get 11 rushing yards, that's only going to put him at, 210-ish in terms of the total based on the passing yards. But again, I don't mind it. I think that I'd prefer just passing yards for the exact same reason that, like you mentioned with those quarterbacks. Geno Smith didn't even have 10 rushing yards against them. He threw for 284 on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I don't think you're going wrong. Like I said, I could even picture Cam Ward getting pushed out of the pocket. And we've already seen, like, he had 6 rush attempts last week. So obviously there's a little bit of something there, and that's against Seattle, who pressures the quarterback. So yeah, it's funny. I really can't rag on this because a lot of what you said, other than the rushing yards, is something I've already said, already recorded, and it'll come out in a few days. So if people are watching this and want to fact check me, boom, it'll be right there in a couple days. So yeah, I don't necessarily mind it. I think it's a good look, and I think, yeah, as the official Cam Ward whisperer, I kind of give you the sign off on this one.
The other key thing in the last point before we move on to the next category is that it's not just the fact that we mentioned some, I'll be nice and not say bad quarterbacks, but let's say subpar quarterbacks, right? It's the fact that you look at the offenses who they played with are also bottom tier. Like, look at Jacoby Brissett, like we just mentioned. No Marvin Harrison last week. So that was big. Like he traded McBride, fair. But besides Trey McBride, they didn't really have anything else in the passing game worth mentioning. Geno Smith, okay, at that point in time, I believe Jacoby Myers was still around. But outside of him, we've seen this receiver core post Myers. It's not very pretty, right?
Yep.
Davis Mills, which is crazy to say, probably of the 3 quarterbacks I mentioned, has the best offensive personnel. All 3 of those teams have offensive line issues. All 3 of those teams have kind of crappy offensive coordinators. You just kind of put it all together. They're all very similar circumstances. All slightly better than the Titans, to be fair. Like, I would take all 3 of those offenses over Tennessee's offense.
Yeah. Yep.
The point being, though, is that it's not just that they're subpar quarterbacks. You have 3 subpar quarterbacks with 3 below-average offensive lines, with weak wide receiver rooms, and they had these monster games. So Tennessee, obviously worst offensive line, worst wide receiver room. I think he can do it here, which, and you obviously agree with that. So I think it's a good spot.
Yep, I agree. All right, round number 3 here, the round before Fade Me. How do you feel about your board through 2 picks here?
I don't love the first play. Obviously,
that's what I was gonna say. You have Cam Ward and the Jets now. Like, that is wild.
It's another week where I'm gravitating towards these garbage teams. I don't know why. I'm just drawn in like a moth to a flame. But hopefully the next pick I don't go with Geno Smith under an interception, because that would just be
something like that. But all right, let's go ahead and spin this here. You are going to be leading us off in this category. And
I would love Thanksgiving.
Go ahead.
Come on. Come on,
Sit
come on,
down.
come on. Sit. Oh,
Nope.
not rookie.
Oh, no. That's going to be a tough one. You just used your rookie prop. That is brutal. You just used your rookie prop. To be fair, you used mine too. Like I already told you, if I would have probably taken a peek at Cam Ward over passing yards if it was up to me. That's a tough one, dude.
I feel like I just got hit in the balls.
Yeah, you that's tough, man.
I'm going through. I had only one rookie prop. That's my fault for blowing my load there on.
Yeah, dude, that's tough, man.
Oh, all right. You got to give me a second here as I try to rally real quick and find a pivot point. Oh man,
it is that is tough. I mean, if you take the one I do have one. It's gonna make it even more tough, I guess.
Not good at all. All right, you gotta give me a second here as I kind of go through.
Shoot. You can't make that stuff up. That is tough.
The board has not been kind to me. In this one, I have a play here. I think this is what I have to go with here, although the matchup is not good at all. But I'm just waiting on one injury report thing to see, and then I can make it official. Yep. All right, we'll go with this one. And it's another one where it's like I'm not totally proud of it, but as far as rookie props go, it's the only one I feel the most confident about on my board. Patriots, Giants, Monday Night Football. We're going Travion Henderson under rushing plus receiving yards, which I'm grabbing for minus 115 at BetMGM. The thing is that Ramondre's back, and last week was the first game without Ramondre. To be fair, he's still nearly He had 66 rushing yards, 15 receiving yards, so he's still got work. So I think, early in the season, if you go back, like, for example, on Outlier, I'm looking through the numbers. The first few weeks, obviously, they were not using him. Obviously, when Ramondre got hurt, he has that 3-week run where he just was destroying teams. I don't think there's any going back. You've opened Pandora's box if you're Mike Vrabel. You can't just put him back, okay? You have to start using him again. And so I do think that his usage is going to be higher than pre-Stevenson injury. That being said, Ramondre is still, I think, clearly the number one guy. I think they're looking at him in that light. Beyond the fact that he obviously has to split reps with Ramondre, you have a Patriots offensive line that obviously had a lot of injuries on Sunday, which was really tough to watch. But Will Campbell got hurt. He's obviously out for a little while. Jared Wilson's questionable for this game, but he's obviously banged up. Morgan Moses got banged up. And you saw after the injuries to the offensive line, this Patriots offense kind of sputtered the rest of that Bengals game. So between the offensive line injuries, the fact that Ramondre's back, the matchup, like I said, is not very good. The Giants are not very good at stopping running backs at all this year. If you look at the matchup versus running backs this season, 31st in rushing yards allowed to running backs, 20th in receiving yards. So it's a good matchup for the over. Just looking at his volume, though, I mean, he had 18 carries versus Cincinnati's a lot. So I don't know. It's tough. He's going to get a lot of work. I'm just basically hoping that Ramondre steals enough from him in this game that he comes short. I mean, he did technically come short against the Bengals, who are also a very bad matchup defensively. So, yeah, it's a shot in the dark. I don't love it, but it's the only rookie prop on the top of my head that I can kind of go to and say, hey, I can rock with it. I at least have some form of confidence in this play. I'm not very thankful for these wheel spins on Thanksgiving.
you got a wild board. Like but the thing is, any of them can even hit.
Yeah.
Even like this one. I think that the logic is there. Let me ask you this. I guess you would have, because you used it for another category. Would you have preferred to have that Cam Ward as your rookie spot? I assume
190,000%.
I mean, I really don't mind, just given the situation with Ramondre coming back too. I don't mind it.
The problem is there's not a lot of rookies in offensive positions that are getting big. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I mean, quarterbacks, obviously, it's basically, unless you want to really roll the dice with Shedeur Sanders, which I could have went that route. It's Cam Ward, who I already used, and Shedeur. Beyond that, it's, you got to look at like Ted McMillan for Carolina and a couple other guys. But yeah, there's not really a lot of rookies. Like in years past, there's always like a handful that you're like, oh, these guys are contributed, like Jaden Daniels last year, just to name one. But like this year, there's really not a lot in terms of rookies in offensive positions. I feel like this year, the defensive rookie players have kind of made a name for themselves, and the offensive line rookies have made a name for themselves. The skill position players haven't really been as impressive. And maybe I'm wrong, and someone will give a stat and says, oh, this is the best skill position draft class of all time, but
Yeah.
I haven't really seen that.
No, I think I agree with you. I am going with a weird one. So, and it is a weird one, but I do like it because this is a slot receiver. Or he plays, I would say he plays, more of the slot. He's the number 3 receiver on his team. It's going to be Luther Burden, the third, right? Or is he the fourth? The third, right?
Third. Yep.
So he's the third, and he's the third receiver on this team. He's got 5 targets.
Here.
The biggest reason I have is because of that. He has 5 targets in his last 2 games. He has in his last 3 games, he has 13 targets. I don't know if I want to go yards or receptions. I think I'm going to do yards. This may be a little dicey, I guess, but I think that he can do it. It's over 29.5 right now. Minus 136 on FD. Now, you can tell me afterwards when we go through this, over 2.5 receptions was minus 120. So I don't know which one would have been better, but this Philadelphia secondary still does have some issues. And I think the third receiver, especially playing out of the slot, like they may have the gamers to be able to take away, obviously, like a Dunze or DJ Moore, right? And then maybe the second guy as well. But that third receiver, I think they're probably going to have Cooper DeJean on him, which, as good as he is, I like him in the physical game and like making some of these big plays and stops and kind of hovering, not necessarily just totally locking a guy up man wise. The problem with this pick is he may not have volume, and Caleb Williams could be due for a little bit of, I don't want to say regression, but like, I don't know how much I'm fully trusting Caleb Williams against in a big game against an Eagles team in which Caleb Williams has been playing some really good football in terms of his, passing yards and completions and whatnot per game. Like over his last 5 games, he's averaging almost 250 yards. And I don't know if he sustains that against the Philadelphia team like we have right now. So I do like Luther Burden in this spot, 29.5 yards. The first question to you, regardless if you like the play or not, would you have gone 2.5 catches or would you go 29.5 yards?
Yards, because I think like with the yards, we talked about this a lot on the show where it's like one catch and one big run and he's already got 30 yards. You know what I mean? Versus,
because it's a low number too.
Yeah, he could have 2 catches for 45 yards and you're catch the over, but obviously 2 catches doesn't catch the over for receptions.
What do you think of the play?
Yeah, then? I don't I mean, obviously, like I said, coming from someone who got cornered in that position, there weren't really a lot of great options. So I get kind of the scramble there. I don't hate the thought process. The problem is that you kind of mentioned that like he's the wide receiver 3. Yeah. I don't even think that's really. I mean, I know the last few weeks he has been getting more looks, which is why obviously you mentioned that. But technically speaking, he's not really the wide receiver 3 at all. And if we really go beyond just the wide receiver position, I mean, we can start naming off the targets. Dunze 24% target share, DJ Moore 16.7, Zacchaeus 14.7. So those are the 3 wide receivers, right? Now you have Colston Loveland, rookie tight end, DeAndre Swift. So Loveland 11%, DeAndre Swift 10%, Cole Kmet the second tight end 8%. Then there's Luther Burden. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players this year have more targets than Luther Burden. Even the Bears' backup running back Manungai, he has a 4.6%. So like there's a lot of guys who, and he's behind Luther Burden, but I'm just saying another guy who's kind of in the vicinity of him. There's a lot of guys getting work ahead of him in this offense. It's not like Zacchaeus has 10 more targets. He has 23 more targets this year than Burden. And again, I get it. The volume has increased the last couple of weeks, but this is a really tough spot for a rookie wide receiver. And the Bears, to your credit, like I understand like Caleb Williams, he's been playing very well, but let's look at who they played. The Bengals, one of the worst pass defense in the league. The Giants, terrible pass defense. The Vikings, surprisingly, not a very good pass defense. The Steelers, obviously, we talked about earlier, bad pass defense. Ravens, not the best pass defense. Saints, like that's who they've been playing. Washington. The last time they played a real good, like a legit good defense is Detroit back in week 2. And even that game, like, I mean, Detroit is a good defense, but I wouldn't consider them elite or the best of the best. You know what I mean? Like they are, I know DVOA, they are a top 10 team. They have a good defense, but when I think top defenses, Detroit's right on the outside of that bubble. And like I said, they've been on a run where it's just like, yeah, they're playing great and they're 8-3, but like New England, where people make the argument like, oh, New England, they've had a cupcake schedule. The Bears also have the same thing going on here where even the good teams they were supposed to play, right? Your Dallases, your Washingtons, your Baltimores, they played them at a time when these teams were like Dallas' pass defense was a disaster those first couple weeks. Remember, Russell Wilson almost threw for 500 yards on that Dallas defense. You know what I mean? Washington's pass defense has been a disaster this year. Even Baltimore, they played them. That was Lamar's first game back, and the defense looked a little bit better. But still, that Ravens defense at the time wasn't as fine-tuned. So I think this is fine. I know the Eagles, they have their issues, but this is a tough matchup. You're in Philadelphia, rookie wide receiver. The Eagles obviously coming off of that loss against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
They are going to be fired up big time for this game, prime time. I think the Bears are going to struggle in general in this game. I think Luther Burden, of all players, really may not be featured as much as you'd hope in this matchup. But again, I could be wrong. He's got a lot of work the last couple of games. 2 catches. Yeah. He could catch this. And what was it, 29 and a half?
Yeah, 29 and a half. And I do think the only thing
30 yards is not crazy in two catches. You know what I mean?
The only thing I push that I don't agree with you on, because again, we're kind of pigeonholed into a tough prop here, right? With the rookies. He is, I would say, and if you look like the snap counts over the last couple weeks, like I think they're trying to like solidify him as the number 3, right? So it's like,
and I understand that. Yeah.
He's definitely more. Him as your number 3, if he's working out, is better than obviously Zacchaeus, like if they're both playing at their peak in a sense. So I think that's probably what they're aiming for. And like to catch it and go for 30 yards, he can play, 50 to 60% of the snaps. I don't even need him to be on the field 77% of the time or anything like that. You know what I mean? Especially when like we know the Eagles are going to focus on obvious names of Adunze and DJ Moore. And one other thing you kind of mentioned, I didn't even think of this originally, but like Philly off of that loss and a collapse of a loss, would you be surprised if Philadelphia comes in here and just routs the Bears? Probably not. That's going to make them throw the ball a little bit more, might fit the game script a little more to throw in, especially if it even does get out of hand, which it's only a 7-point spread right now. We can't sit here and be like, oh my God, it's going to be a bloodbath. This Bears team has been, like you said, maybe not the best competition, but still a little surprising. They're probably not going to want to throw to DJ Moore as much. Like I'm talking if they're trying to just get out of this game, you know what I mean? Maybe they do mix in their rookie and whatnot. So I do think game script wise, I actually start to like it more the more I think about it, but it is I can totally admit it's a little bit of a toss-up because he may not have the volume. Like even when I say I'm okay with 55% snaps played or something like that, like he still needs to get the ball thrown his way. And what if they are thinking, okay, well, Zacchaeus may fit this a little bit better or something like that, or they do think that Cooper DeJean is a good enough, just stuck on you type defender to give him some problems. We'll see. But it was, I'm glad I got it. I would have also gone Cam Ward as my rookie prop too, had you not picked that. But either way, you would have had it in the first round here. But the fact that this is Thanksgiving week and we came in so excited about our boards and Cardinals, Luther Burden, you have a crazy board. Jets, Cam Ward, and
Trayvon Henderson under.
Yeah, under, right. I was gonna say it's a good player.
Good player, not a good player, but a not fun position to be in.
Right. Okay, well, we do have the fade me round.
I do want to say one thing real quick.
Go for it.
You know what I'm thankful for, Ev? Or what I'm going to be thankful for. I'm going to be thankful when Luther Burden goes for 3 catches, 28 yards, and you're going to be like, damn, I wish I got the 3 catches.
I was thinking that as you said it because you just explained the way that it works out for the yards, right? And I was like, but it could also totally be like 3 catches, -1 yard. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you said it as it was a matter of fact, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. 2 seconds later, I was like, wait, did he just gaslight me? Like, you could easily have it the reverse. Like, you know what I mean?
I genuinely think, and I almost wonder if I can bet the exact stats. I think 3 catches, 28 yards is going to happen in this game. Like, I am a Luther Burden fan too. He was, for my college football guys out there, he was actually a lot of fun to watch at Missouri. I thought he was going to go a little bit higher in the draft, but yeah, I mean
he was a second or third round pick.
I believe he was a second. I could be mistaken, but when I watched him at Missouri, like coming into that senior year, like he was one of the best wide receivers in my opinion in football. And then he had a decent senior year, but that whole Missouri team kind of fell off a little bit last year. But he's a fun player. That's a good pick for the Bears. But yeah, it's hard to hate on that kind of a pick, but
I know
it's a tough spot.
Well,
but
you heard it here first. I guess 3 catches, 28 yards is what Tasos' prediction is. But all right, let's move into the Fade Me round. Guys, if you don't know what the Fade Me round is, it is really fun, really intense, and it decides the week plenty of times. We're going to spin a wheel, and it looks just like the first wheel you saw. It's got a bunch of Ev slices, a bunch of Tasos slices. Whoever this lands on gets to make a play. No spinning any other wheels. They get to make a play of their choosing. The other person has to take the opposite and fade that play at the according odds. So very, very important. Tasos, you took a shot with the Colts last week. They were winning that, and the Chiefs came back and won in overtime. I actually had the Chiefs minus. I had the Chiefs -3 on my Sunday plays as well. I turned that game off and stopped checking until after the game was over, and I was like, "Wait, what happened here?" Because I was just so like the Chiefs just did not look good. But you gave me that win. That's what can happen. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's such an advantage to have fade me." It's like we're still taking a shot here. Like anything can happen. Yep. We're not on the field. But I'm assuming you obviously want fade me this week.
Oh, very badly.
Okay. Very badly. I think I do want it too, but let's go ahead. I mean, we've had a good track record this year of giving each other wins. I mean, like I've been a little bit worse than you, but you've also had a couple in a row now, right? Or damn near close. But all right, let's go ahead and spin this thing.
It's a Thanksgiving play too, which is why I really want.
Ooh, that'd be great. And it's gonna be me. No way.
Sit.
Oh, no! Here we go. Well, you'll be able to tell me what it was. I wonder that might have been the closest. We not even just fade me wheel spin. That may have been one of the closest wheel spins we've ever had.
Stopped.
I think
it stopped, and then it just kind of.
Yeah, that was very, very, very close.
The wheel has not been kind at all.
No, it really hasn't. All right. So this one is it's unfortunately it is not a Thanksgiving one, okay? But I really do like where I'm at here, and I do have I don't know if I want to go the wimpy approach or the kind of just sending it approach. I think that there's okay. I'm gonna go the plus money. I'm taking a plus money side on mine. Okay, this is gonna be Will Reichard. He's a kicker, Tasos. Over 1.5 field goals made for the Vikings, plus 110 on my end. You get his under 1.5 at -145 on MGM. So I get plus 110. You got -145. This is a guy that's hit the over in, let's see, this season, he's hit the over in 8 of 11 games. When on the road, he's hit it in 4 of 6. He has up against the Seattle team last time they played, which was last year. He hit it as well. And this is a Seattle team that is obviously a really good defense. They're not a crazy good red zone defense, but a good defense nonetheless. I don't think this Minnesota team is going to get into the red zone and advance that ball. Like, we might not even see JJ McCarthy this week. I love the idea of them at least stumbling into the field goal range 2 times this game and him going 2 for 2 in Seattle. What are your thoughts? Are you thankful?
We're on to week 14.
We're on to week 14. He's like, screw your Thanksgiving. I don't care about your tradition. Dude, we got a weird board for Thanksgiving here.
I am not thankful for this Thanksgiving episode at all. Not thankful.
I like that one, right? It's perfect. I'm getting plus money
for
a kicker
you,
prop.
For you.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I can control. Control what you can control, dude. You're over here being like, I can't control the fade me round. You did. Yeah, I controlled it. I can't believe how close that wheel spin was. That looked like it maybe had some backspin on it and then right to the Ev. Hey, don't be pointing fingers. I know that I'm controlling the wheel over here, but no funny business, all right? No funny business. All right, what are your thoughts on the episode? I think a picture's worth 1,000 words right now. You got to let me know.
I'm just speechless. I'm speechless. That wheel spin, and then like I lost the wheel spin on the little tick there, and I was like, all right, whatever. It is what it is. The minute that I heard Will Reichard or Richard, however you say his name,
it's Reichard. I'm not sure. But
Reichard.
Whatever.
The minute I obviously knew it was the kicker. The minute I heard his name, I don't know if you saw. I felt bad. It was kind of a rude move, but I took my headphones off. I was like, you know what? I can't even listen to this right now because you have the king of the kicker props giving me a fade me kick that's plus money too.
Now that is something that's worth noting. You do have the far favored side, which didn't work out for you last week taking the plus money like I'm doing. You took the Colts. I got the Chiefs. Look how that worked out. So there is something to be said for you having the less risky side in a sense. But this is 5.5, or actually it's 1.5 for plus money. I think his line is 5.5, and that's actually favored. So I was like, okay, well, if he's gonna get 5.5, get to 6, it's probably via 2 field goals. So just doing a little quick math there, I like the plus money instead. But yeah, we can't deny that you do have the favored side.
Yeah, but you're the guru of kicker props. So like, if you say it, it's gonna happen. I don't like how the
you're just reverse jinxing it right now.
No, I'm being serious. How the big tease is like only lost like once in this show's history. I think you've maybe lost one kicker prop ever on this show. Maybe one.
I mean, I honestly can't think of one off the top of my head, to be completely honest. So it may have never lost. Hey, that's what we got to do. It's 6-6. We're knotted up. You got to bring out the big guns. Mm-hmm. What was your fade me? I know you said you had one.
I was going Chiefs spread, and I was going to alter it a little bit to 2.5 points. I just think Kansas City. I know they won last week, and that was kind of their hey. They do it every year where it's like, hey, look at us. You think we're down, we're not. But you have that mixed with the fact that this is a typical Cowboys. I think you can even go back to last year's Fade Me show and our H2H show, and you can go ahead and see. I think I had the exact same spiel with the Cowboys. It's a cycle. They win. They beat the Eagles. They win that game. They're 5-5-1. America's like, oh no, watch out for the Dallas Cowboys. And Jordan Pickens looks good. And then they play the Chiefs on primetime on Thanksgiving. The whole world is watching, and Patrick Mahomes says, hey, don't forget about me. I think Chiefs are going to win that game. So I was going to go Chiefs minus 2.5. You were going to take Cowboys plus 2.5.
Yeah, I don't think I would have liked that too much. So I guess you would have had a good spot there. But I am knowing that now, very much glad that it doesn't matter, does it? It does not matter. But yeah, guys, already. I mean, hey, if you want to forfeit this week, just tell me.
No. We're not going to forfeit.
Are you sure?
I'm saying mentally. Mentally, we're moving on to week 14. We're putting the disastrous events of this episode in the past. I'm thankful that we get to do more weeks of this show so we can move on from what transpired here today, which was a nightmare for me.
Okay, you do have such a wild card. But all right, guys, that is going to wrap it up for this week 13 and Thanksgiving episode. Like we already mentioned, really do appreciate everybody tuning in and just supporting the show and supporting the channel all the way through. So thank you. I know, like we've said, that you shouldn't need a holiday to kind of trigger a thank you, but doesn't mean that you shouldn't say it when the timing is right? So really do appreciate it. I think that can be echoed throughout the whole Guy Boston system here. So appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. All right? Peace out.
Happy Thanksgiving.